Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Thank you so much for being here. Okay, I'm going to grab my slides. All right. Got it. All right. Let's see who was here first. Sonia Johnson, thank you so much for being here first. And by the way, y'all, I don't think we'll be here more than an hour. Hello, Adrian Burrow, Barbara Richardson, Carol Lunn, Blue Draws, Compton Cali Gal. Okay. Hi, Lydia Washington. Sussex Global UK. Hello, Ivy here. Let me see here. Annie Bullard, Church Nelly. Excellent. Church Nelly, I hope you're feeling well. Okay. Rodney Jackson. Hi, thank you for being here. All right. There we go. I want to see Archie and Lily or LiliBet. Yeah, apparently Charles is desperate to see uh, the grandkids. Or, as the old saying goes, rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. One more time. Rinse and repeat. I think you've got it. You just rinse and repeat. You wait until things get a little slow, right? Although this seems to be not just coming from, let's say, an author who has just written a book. This seems to be coming from every direction all at the same time. But that's okay. They do that as well. Blue Draws, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being a member of Royal Sussex. Greatly appreciate it. Okay, so let's get on with it. So, King Charles not content with Archie and LiliBet video calls and wants to be present in lives. Well, that is from what, June the 9th this year. He's not satisfied with video calls. Does that mean that someone has just leaked that there may perhaps be video calls taking place? That sounds like a leak to me. Somebody is leaking and briefing. If that is true, that sounds like a leak to me. So, using Charles's name here, that sounds like a courtier or someone in with some proximity to the royal household has been leaking. So this doesn't seem like your typical, oh, we're kind of bored. Now, that is, of course, Russell Meyer. I don't know if Russell Meyer is that much more credible than the next person, but, well, I don't know. It seems as though it could possibly be a direct brief from Buckingham Palace. Why? Probably because they're trying to make us look the other way. They don't want people to talk about the sovereign grant at a time when people are supposed to choose a new government or something like that. I don't know. What is the deal? But of course, it's the annual trip to Balmoral, the Highland Games. I think all of that comes after Trooping the Colors, right? And traditionally, Queen Elizabeth would stay in Balmoral from, I guess, June until September sometimes, right? And of course, the Queen wanted to go back to Buckingham Palace so that she could, see Liz Truss. And they told her, no, you stay up there in Balmoral. They wouldn't let her come home. they say. And you know, they are never wrong. Hi, Amy Robinson. Thank you so much for being here. So, King Charles feels his lack of closeness to Prince Archie and Princess Lilibet acutely and would like to see them as much as possible. What about the other kids that he doesn't see that often? Like, for instance, when was the last time that he's seen those Cambridge kids or the Wellses, as they're called now? When was the last time that he's seen those kids? When was the last time? Because if he's seen them, he has the advantage because I don't know that anybody has seen Charlotte or Louis since Christmas. Charles is not that affectionate with children. He's okay, you know, like when there's cameras rolling and everything. But other than that, it seems to me like he could take them or leave them. Anna Boyd, thank you very much for the super sticker and thank you for being here tonight. And always, thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Let's see. Lex says, why is British media pushing this? No one believes he cares. He took their home security. He only uses the grandchildren when it's to hide his infidelities. Amen to that. I believe that as well. Is that this is the old switcheroony, the bait and switch, the okey doke. What is the true nature of this appeal for the grandkids? And I feel like he's trying to use them. He's trying to use them. Photo op, whatever it is, I think he's on the make to use them. So right here, loads more stuff to add to this, including reports King Charles had concerns about how dark his Sussex grandchildren's skin would be, allegedly, not wanting them to have their prince and princess titles on his accession to the throne, and therefore not to have security before the Sussexes left a year later. Remember, Meghan said she wrote letters begging for security for her husband and Archie. And of course, LiliBet Diana was not born yet. Then he and his team only updated the royal website with the children's titles when the Sussexes announced Princess Lilibet's Diana. What am I? Lilibet Diana's christening. Okay, I cut that off. Accidentally cut that off. Anyway, that is from Glow, who is also a content creator. But yeah, that was when, because listen, you all, they had already started leaking and briefing to the press. I remember that. They had started leaking and briefing to the press that the grandkids would not get titles, right? And Megan finally said something about it with the Oprah interview, right? Because if it wasn't for them leaving, if it wasn't for the Oprah interview, there's no way they would have got those titles. Now, as much as I love to say, oh, Queen Elizabeth was old and kind of soft in the head and didn't know what was going on, Queen Elizabeth went out of her way to give Charlotte and Louis their titles. And I don't know why she couldn't have gone out of her way to give Lilibet and Archie, well, eventually Archie, give them their title. What am I saying? Archie and then Lilibet. But yeah, she went out of her way. Now, there's another school of thought here. The same grandson that shook her down for an £8 million helicopter probably wouldn't have much trouble going to her and saying, listen, you old biddy, you old battle axe, I need an £8 million helicopter. Also, I want titles for my children before dad takes the throne. You get me? So it could have been a bit of coercion from William that made that happen. Because the queen usually like to do those things, you know, as they come. But also, um, the queen, I believe, offered those prince and princess titles to, wasn't it, who else's kids did not have them coming, and she offered them anyway? Oh, I'm trying to think. Was that or no? But anyway, I know for sure that Charlotte and Louis were not supposed to get those titles until after she died. And she went ahead and gave it to them while she was still alive. And so, if you all remember the conversation, they were saying no titles for the Sussex children. And then, after it was so much pushback, then they said, well, when Charles has let it be, or something like that, they said to the effect that when Charles becomes king, he's not going to spend his time trying to sort out titles or take titles away and all that kind of stuff. He'll be too busy with the affairs of state. Okay. They said that to try to shut it down. But these grandkids that he is so anxious to see, he did not want them to have titles. And I'm always going to believe the fact that they leaked that. And it wasn't, oh, they're going to get their titles. What did they say? Oh, well, he won't be preoccupied with that when he takes the throne. He did not say no, and he did not say yes. He just uh, instructed them to say there'll be other things happening at that point. And also let me just say that even though they had been playing around with those kids' titles, I don't think any of the tabloids, and I want to say it was the Daily Mail first. The Daily Mail was the first to call Archie and Lily prince and princess. And then lastly, if they had the full intentions of making sure that those children were recognized by their titles, they could have changed that website anytime they wanted to. I believe they were hoping that there would be some public outcry to take the titles away from them, and then of course waiting on people in parliament to draft a bill or whatever. But of course nobody has the stomach to do that, because once you start taking one title, it sure enough makes it easy to take those other titles, meaning just about everybody else who has one. That is a very bad precedent to start, because once you start, it's just like potato chips. You can't just eat one, right? You just can't eat one. If you have that one potato chip, next thing you know, the whole bag is gone. Trust me, I know. I can go through a can of Pringles like a hot knife through butter. King Charles feels his lack of closeness to Prince Archie and Princess LiliBet acutely and would like to see them as much as possible. Now, Mark Duell, I showed you a picture of him before. He looks like he literally fell off of his skateboard on his way to work. I mean, this kid doesn't know. Well, anyway, I don't can't use that language, but um, the person who wrote this is a provocateur. Let me just say that. He tends to take his marching orders and do as he's told. So let's see here. Lady T says Charles is trying to honor that invisible contract with the media by showing those kids any way he can. Fake caring. Do not trust the creep king. Thank you so much, Lady T. And you know what? You make a great point there, because they started murmuring, the tabloid media. They started the murmurs about no photos of Lily. Which one of them? Gosh, I can't remember who said it, but one of those awful tabloid people were like, Oh, well, we have plenty photos of Archie, even though they wanted to keep him out of the press, but they decided to put him in a couple. Anyway, so then this person was saying that we don't have any photos of Lily, just, that one photo. And they are anxious. They are anxious because, you guys, let me remind you, and I don't want to take credit because I wasn't the only person who said this. I think anybody who's been doing the math is acutely aware of something, and that is after the coronation, and I said this before the queen died, after the coronation, after the state funeral and the coronation, they don't have any big state occasion until one of those, either Charles dies or one of those um, one of Willie's kids get married. So potentially they would have 10, possibly 15 years of nothing, a void. And then with all of that, you take away the Princess of Wales with that cursed sapphire diamond ring that she wears. You take her out of it, which is hard for me to say this because I think she's as dull as dishwater, but she was very important to the future of the monarchy. And so you take her out of it, and the kids, they're going to have an opportunity to grow up before they can start going out and doing official royal duty. And then, of course, we don't really know how good they'll be at it. I got a feeling Charlotte is going to excel. I do. But the other two, not so much, maybe. But I know I got a feeling Charlotte is going to excel. I think the other two may just be a bit average, but they need superstars. Nothing against the kids, of course, but they need stars because if Kate is not going to be there and William, well, depending on what's happening with Kate, William may not be really fit for purpose. And yeah, what do they have? What did they have? Everything at this point, if Kate never comes back, everything rests on those three children. And that is a lot of pressure. That is a lot of pressure. Look at what the pressure may potentially have done to their mom, right? That's a lot of pressure to put on those kids, on those babies. Lex says if Megan didn't say anything during the Oprah interview, they wouldn't have them. After Queen Elizabeth II, the royal rota said King Charles III wants to know about Harry and Meghan's projects first. Blackmail. Come on, Legs. You better preach. You better preach. Exactly. If Megan hadn't said anything during that Oprah Winfrey interview, I think the wheels were in motion. I think the wheels were in motion. And they were trying to build up a groundswell of support. But stripping those children of color, it's one thing to target the parents, but the children. And so even listen, I know some of you all do not think those titles are important, but I'm very much against othering, especially othering children. I do not like otherings. Do not other me. Do not other my family. Do not take things away. Do not make it seem as though they're being punished for something, right? That is Harry's birthright. And Harry may have felt one way about it when he sat there at Sandringham under negotiation. But now he feels differently about it because trust and believe for the hell that they have put him through and the rest of the family for the hell that they have put them through. I say keep those titles and do with them whatever you can without violating the sacred whatever oath or trust or what have you. Do with it what you will because that is your birthright. So thank you again, Legs. But yeah, they oh, Elaine Parker, thank you so much for being here and thanks for the super sticker. Now, King says he wants to see Prince Harry's kids, so why kick them out? Now, Tom Sykes gets on my nerves. He really does. I mean, let me tell you, that old queen gives me gas. But this one, and unfortunately, I have not had a chance to see the article. The king says he wants to see Harry's kids, so why'd you kick them out? A new report claims King Charles wants to see lots more of Harry and Meghan's kids, but Charles' eviction of the family from their Windsor home suggests he has other priorities. So, okay, finally, something you can sink your teeth into, right? I'll take a bite of that one. Now, this is a royal correspondent for the Daily Beast asking the question, if it's so important to you, why'd you kick him out? And see, I know that it seems like people are gleeful. The royal rodents are gleeful about the whole Frogmore thing, but they realize that that cuts them off from any access to the Sussexes. The best thing that could happen for the tabloid media would be for them to iron out this security thing and to let them come and go freely, and they might be able to put an extension on the garage. They might be able to put a new roof on their property. Okay. At the very least, they may be able to rent a semi attached or something. But there was so many ways that this could have been different. And I'm not saying that this is going to give them access to the children, but at the very least, if it wasn't such a hostile environment, there would be the possibility. But they have removed all possibility. And it really started, as far as I'm concerned, with the whole chimpanzee thing. But at least there would be that possibility. But now it's impossible, unlikely. And this can go on until those kids are out of university. I said a long time ago, I do recall saying this, that even if they did not have their titles, the tabloid media is never, ever going to not be interested in those children as long as they know that Louis, Charlotte, and George have these hip, free spirit cousins on the west coast of these United States. That is just too tempting. Who would not want to talk about that? Who would not want to write about it? So the the hunger is there, and the press has behaved in the most abominable way, and they don't deserve access to the Sussexes, and certainly not their children, especially with this salivating, frothing of the mouth mentality that they have. I wouldn't trust them to have access to my children. They could, if they were to go on that balcony, they could write about it for till the end of time. But it's just not going to happen. There's been too much said, and there's been too much done. Not to mention the unborn child. That those people are monsters, and they really cannot be trusted. And I don't feel Charles is any more trustworthy either. I couldn't trust him. Anybody who would take security away from their own child should not be trusted. uh, let me see here. Jose Williams says British media are being more careful now only because Nigerian media attacked them for their racism. It scared the racist royal family to see the Commonwealth slipping rapidly away after Nigerian visit. You know what, Jose Williams? They make a lot of money off of the Commonwealth, and it even psychologically it gives them a sense of empire. It makes them feel like there's a new variation of the empire. It makes them feel like things are much bigger and greater and more impressive than what it really is. And it is all precariously just hanging by a thread, easily taken away because China and Russia, in particular China, with all the infrastructure that they're capable of building, the money that they're capable of investing, they've been losing a lot of ground to China as it is. And of course, India at some point is going to want more access to some of these Commonwealth countries that have resources that they want. And as for, the places where people vacation so that they can feel like things are the way it used to be, again, you have a lot of foreign interests that invest in, like, the what I think is the hotel group, the one that also owns Holiday Inn. Don't they have resorts in the Caribbean, among other places? Don't they have interest there? So, yeah, as they say, think it through, love. Yeah, think it through, love. You better think it through. Thanks for your comment, by the way. Marshall says, it's telling Harry kisses his father's cheek with tenderness and love on his face. Willie kisses his father's cheek and he looks like Judas with evil in his eyes, not looking at his dad. Chuck is no king. Yeah, Chuck is a rhymes with Chuck. That's right, duck, duck. Hello, Claudette McKenzie. No interaction. Leave the kids alone. That's right. Leave them kids alone. Lex says Jack Royston made a Lily Pick comment on Talk TV. Is that who? I think that's who I heard talking about that. Also, the whole discussion was measured. I think those reporters want more access, work in U.S. Thank you, Lex. And listen, the U.S. traditionally pays more money than what they could make over there. But the US has not allowed their snark on most of the major networks. Now, in that first year after they left, and even a little bit beyond that, the US media, some of them were feeding into that snarkiness. But as they have gotten used to Harry and Meghan more over here than over there, not to mention some of the people in the Sussex squad have been knee deep in that behind, letting them know that their um, attitudes will not be tolerated. Well, things seems to have changed a bit. Um, and so for that reason, especially given the Nigeria visit, things went so well in Nigeria, and I think to have an opportunity to join the Sussexes on one of those trips, and the Sussexes let them know we got more of these planned. I bet you they would give just about anything to join them on one of those things, especially the way People magazine seemed to just really flaunt it in their faces. So they would love to be a part of it. It's better on the inside than it is on the outside any day of the week. So all I could say to the Royal Rota is straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. It's not too late. It's not too late because it is not as profitable to be hateful anymore. The profit is just not there. The pie is still big, but there's so many people taking slices out of it. There's so many people taking slices out of the hate pie. And the world is not angry at Harry and Meghan. You have a handful of royalists and derangers and such, but I just don't think that they really understand the US. Even white people that don't care for black people, even some of the most racist white people, they know racism when they see it. And they know that Harry was the cat's meow until he married a black woman. And then once that happened, now all of a sudden, the Harry that everybody adored and couldn't wait to see, now we're supposed to hate him for what? And as for Meghan, they understand what's going on. White people in the US are not in denial about things like that. They deny when it's convenient. They deny when it's convenient. Some of them don't deny at all, but they get it. They know exactly what's going on. The royal family was full of crap and they ran for their lives. It doesn't need a whole lot of explanation. You can sit up there and talk about all the things they lied about on Oprah and all that. That stuff just doesn't fly. Nobody's buying that. Only the people who want to believe it will believe it. But by and large, every time the Sussexes go somewhere, do something, there's nothing but excitement, especially here in the US. There's nothing but excitement. Harry goes down to Texas. Meghan goes down to Texas. Remember the South by Southwest? People that have been there before said, I've never seen anything like it. All of these people lined up and they don't have that kind of excitement there. I don't care who's there. It's usually a very, sedate crowd. But when they heard that Meghan, Duchess of Sussex, was there, all of a sudden it took on a whole nother energy. What do they think they're going to do to combat that? Lie? Because so far it ain't working. The lies are not working. But anyway, thank you so much, Legs, for the super chat. And thank you for reminding me that it was that little weasel, Jack Royston. God, I cannot stand him. Let's see. Baby Sis Doll says they were complaining about People Magazine exclusivity. Yes, they were. Thank you so much for that. And thank you for the super chat. Yeah, that's why I said they don't like being on the outside like that. It's so much better on the inside. So much better. That was the best royal tour. Probably, I'm going to say, if I had to rate 3 of their royal tours, I'm going to say the Oceania was number 1, but now I'm going to put Oceania number 2. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and give Oceania and Nigeria a tie, followed by their tour of Africa, well, their first African tour. South Africa. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. But then again, I may want to say Oceania was number 1 because it was bigger and it was the one that really defined their ability. So maybe I'll say that's number 1. But the thing is, all 3 of those were super, super successful. And people talked about it for weeks after. weeks after. You have to make a heck of an impression for something like that. I mean, the queen died after 70 years on the throne, and I think a couple of weeks later, they were like, "Who? Oh, that's right. That old lady. Yeah. Yeah, I remember her." So, there you go. But thank you so much again for your super chats. Annie Bullard. Let's see. Hi, Baron. I've been absent from social media for a while to protect my sanity. I'm a strong supporter of the Sussexes, so I will remain a YouTube member. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for supporting this channel, which, by the way, we're almost at 59,000. Yeah, we're just like maybe 40 subscribers away. So if you all have not subscribed, please make sure you do subscribe to Royal Sussex. And then hello, 60,000. Thank you, Annie Bennett. And listen, whenever you need to take some time away, that is the wisest thing to do. And when you come back, we'll be here. We'll always be glad to see you. Thank you so much for that. Uh, it's too late for me. When you think about the things they did to Megan, it makes me sick. They can go find the missing Kate Middleton. And it makes you wonder, do they know how permanent her absence is? Are they really giving in to the idea that this absence may be permanent? Oh, you know what? I was listening to Celibici this weekend, and if you all haven't listened to Celibici, listen, they have been following the royals. They have a blog. Is it a blog or blog? Anyway, they have a podcast, and they also write. They have a website they write on called Celibici, and they have been following him for years. And they don't know what to think about the Kate thing. On the one hand, it's so easy to believe one way and then to believe the other way, and it's so confusing because you your mind is trying to believe what they're willing to try to get away with, if they're trying to get away with something. But because they have been so mysterious about this illness, who knows what to think? And they couldn't figure it out. Can't wait to hear what they have to say about this Charles wanting to see the babies thing. So King Charles not content. I mean, look at there. It's everywhere. So again, that's Tom Sykes, but they ran the article in the Mirror. And then Charles not content. That was the Daily Fail. Um, I would say that with all of this, and there's no pushback from the palace, then this is exactly what they want people to talk about. And most likely, this is exactly what they're hoping for, is so that they can get that photo op. It would bring so much goodwill to that institution for them to seem as though that they are accepting of those mixed race children, right? It would do them all the favors in the world, especially if this coming election, if the Tories lose their majority or lose power or whatever, and the Labor Party is coming in, then that means that things are swinging more to the left instead of to the right. So I think a lot of countries like the US, sometimes we are swinging the pendulum toward a more conservative period, and then we're swinging it back the other way to a more liberal period. So there is like this alt-right, white supremacist, right-wing movement that's happening. But the younger generation, they, for now, are still in the mood for tolerance. and it would do that institution, it would do the British government, it would do a lot of people a world of good to understand that the young people are very angry. They're very angry because of Gaza. They're angry because of Congo. These young people are very angry and they're motivated and they're getting more and more organized. And that type of energy could easily turn against that institution. That's why I say straighten up and fly right. Otherwise, I'll just say that. Otherwise, you're going to be asking for it. It's not too late to do the right thing. Chucky Cheater is weaponizing the Sussex children. Chucky Cheater. Ah, there is there is no low that is too low for him to slither through. He also wants Harry and Meghan's popularity, so he puts his name next to the biracial grandchildren. Yeah, and even if this is a bunch of BS, he just really wants to look like he tried to do something. He tried to stand up on their behalf. I just hope they don't try to hold hands with that Godzilla monster. And if I see, oh, listen, y'all, if I see, and not, first of all, I don't want them near her, okay? But if I see her picking at them children's sleeves, picking at their sleeves the way she did that child in that classroom that day, ooh, ooh, I am going to go rogue. You hear me? I'm going to go rogue. I think that's the day I will probably have said too much. I am going to go rogue. If I see that ugly thing picking at their sleeve like that, I am going to lose it. Okay? I am going to lose it. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I am going to lose it. Remember on Martin when remember Mama's bird? I'm gonna be running around here like Mama's bird, okay? It's gonna be Mama's bird 2.0. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. It's gonna be Mama's bird 2.0. Yep. It's gonna be like a scene of Star. What is it? Star Wars. It's gonna be like one of them Star Wars scenes. It is not gonna be nice. Yeah, I think I might between you and Black Queen. I would be afraid. I you know what? Just the thought of that monster being near those children for any reason. And oh, let me stop thinking about it. Let me stop thinking about it. When you're sitting in the chair and you start rocking back and forth, that's when you gotta let it go. You gotta let it go. That's when you gotta let it go. When you're sitting there, you start rocking back and forth. That's when you gotta let it go. So I'm done. I'm not gonna talk about that no more right now. There. Better. Better, better, better. Because it's something about her that just rubs people the wrong way with her phony self. Oh, yep. Let me see. I think there's only one person who expressed their feelings without expressing their feelings, and y'all know who it was. Imagine you invited someplace as a person of African descent, just ripe for the cameras to capture your image being around that royal family. And you know what happens next, don't you?
Yeah. Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you for coming.
There you are. So you're the only man here?
Yeah, I am.
Yes. Great family. So how long so how long
Woo! That so help me God look is what gets me. So help me if I find out who put me at this table. And and she probably, if she knew she was gonna be all on TV, she might have got her hair done or something. But nope, they didn't even give her the benefit. I bet you it was last minute. They wanted her down there. Woo, look at that. She turned away from her. Oh Lord. I'm telling you, that poor woman, that poor woman. I mean, 400 years of oppression, and it has come down to this here. I feel you, sister. I know. I know. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. Lex says the kids are a deflection from D-Day medals. Oh, yes. People have been talking about those D-Day medals and how ridiculous it looks. Thank you, Legs. Those D-Day medals. Matter of fact, I did share. I did that on Twitter. Okay, I will share it on the community thing. I did share something about that. Um, Republic, one of the a former soldier, a veteran, he has a video on Republic where he talks about that, and he made an exception for Harry, but just barely. He did say that even though Harry has seen combat, he said that most people are not going to experience their after military life in the same way, which I agree, and I'm pretty sure Harry would agree with him as well. So he wasn't really critical of Harry because he still sees Harry as a royal, but the rest of them, he was very quick to point out that you all have not seen any combat, and therefore y'all shouldn't be wearing the medals like that. Um, but yeah, so I'll put that on the community tab, and that is from Republic. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Barbara Richardson says, I would never take my kids to UK if I were Harry and Meghan to be near that toxic environment. Thank you so much, Barbara Richardson, for the super chat. And we never did figure out who cracked William across his head with that golf club. I don't think that they actually named the person. And of course, they shouldn't because it was a child. But yeah, somebody they never explained how William got that scar over his left eye, but somebody cracked him across his head with one of those golf clubs. And my thing is, aside from what I just said about somebody pinching somebody's sleeves, bet nothing ever happened to them kids. I'm just saying, bet nothing ever happened to them kids. And when you mess up that grammar, you mean business. Bet nothing ever happened to them kids. Bet. Okay. When that grammar come out like that, that's serious business. bet nothing, and I mean bet nothing ever happened to them kids. Nothing. Oh yes, he was quite good. I like him. I've listened to him before. I have listened to him before, and he and you know what? What really I found interesting was when he said that a lot of people that come out of the military start looking at the monarchy in a different way. A lot of them look at the monarchy in a different way. When they gave William Harry's heir, was it the that title? Well, actually, it wasn't Harry's title. People thought it might eventually go to Harry, but when they gave William that helicopter honor or whatever that thing Charles had for all those years, and he passed it on to William. When that happened, one of the commanding officers that they spoke to, he was very quick to say that this is an honorary role, that is honorary. That was the first thing that came out of his mouth was it's honorary. It's an honorary title. And that was telling right there. That was telling right there. The fact that the first thing he said was that it was an honorary title. So William, Charles, it does not matter. Even if it's Harry, it's honorary. The only difference is Harry would be the only person to have actually earned it, who has had combat experience and also was trained and certified to fly one of the most technologically advanced combat machines that they have. Technologically advanced. And we got the proof. Rebecca English gushing about Harry um, being the, what did she say? What was that Tom Cruise movie? Top Gun, whatever. Yeah, Rebecca English gushing about Harry's talents. So, for all of the things that they selectively forget, we have the receipts. We have the receipts. And they can never, ever take that away from them. And those, it's such a, thank you, Beverly McCaskill. It's such a ridiculous, feeble attempt. Oh, Nithalando, I'm so glad you're here. I fixed it. Great. But yeah, it's such a feeble attempt in the comment sections. Oh, he never passed the class. They just advanced all that garbage they try to talk. And I'm just like, if only this wasn't a robot or a bot or whatever, or if only it was not an insane person that was on the other end of those comments. But it's ridiculous. And they do it because they're trying to tear us down. That's why it's so important to go and clean out those comments like that. Because and by the way, there's a lot of things that you don't see so much of it because you could actually block certain language from the comment section. And they know it too. Some of them know it because they'll do it 3 or 4 times and still it doesn't show up. So they just waste their time. But there's certain things that you can just block the words and it doesn't come up. I love that feature. I love that feature. And it's such a godsend because all of that crazy stuff, those 3 and 4 paragraph diatribes that those soliloquies that they try to throw out there, they just waste their time. Their manifesto, waste of time. So keep adding them, keep giving me the engagement. but it's useless. Wasting your time, derangers. Waste of time. This is a Sussex friendly space. All right. Okay, so let me go to the next slide. How long have I been stuck there? Oh, I got a sound bite for us. I got a sound bite. Um, just as I was preparing to go on, I found someone who said exactly what most of you all have been thinking. I love the fact that we're all pretty much on the same page with this, by the way. Mm-mm-mm. There we go. I hope I bookmarked it.
Into this new royal narrative. It's not really a new narrative. They literally recycle this every year, just like how whenever it's the holidays, they're like, will they or won't they? Will the Sussexes spend Christmas with the royals or will they not? It's going to happen this year as well. So this says King Charles is not content with seeing Archie and LiliBet over video calls and is keener than ever to build a relationship with Harry and Meghan's children. It's kind of hard to build a relationship with grandchildren when you hate their mother, because I am a firm believer that if you hate the mother, you will also mistreat the children. But that's just me. But let me know how you guys feel in the comments. Do you guys actually believe this? Because I personally don't. King Charles feels his lack of closeness to Prince Archie and Princess LiliBet acutely and would like to see them as much as possible. He would like to see them as much as possible, but yet he evicted their parents from Frogmore Cottage and offered it to Andrew, and is still trying to offer it to Andrew. Let's not forget that Charles stripped Harry of his security, and Harry is still fighting for said security to this day. Actions speak louder than words. If he wanted them around, he wouldn't be treating Harry and Meghan the way he has in the past and has treated them currently. And I feel like he only wants to see the kids for a photo op, and that's my personal opinion. So let's get into this.
So, you know what? The whole thing with Andrew, I don't believe that Charles wants to kick Andrew out of the royal lodge. I don't believe he wants to kick him out of Royal Lodge. And by the way, I don't know the name of the person who made that video. I did not see it. Someone loaded it onto Twitter. And anyway, um, he's only doing this because of the election. He is only doing this because of the election, because he just wants to seem as though he's being frugal and saving the taxpayers' money. So this way, nobody will ever bring up the sovereign grant. He's deflecting from the sovereign grant. And now he's using the kids to deflect from a bunch of other stuff. In other words, I think that is all possibly to help the what do you call it? The Tories. Well, all right. If Willie wants the Royal Lodge, he could only want it for the Middletons, right? That's the only thing I could think of, is that he may want to put the Middletons there. Otherwise, what is the point? Because Windsor Castle is empty. And I don't know whether or not William is prevented from being. I insist that he's probably there now. I think when he needs to be close to Adelaide Cottage, he is likely at Windsor Castle. If he doesn't want to be in Adelaide Cottage, why wouldn't he just go to Windsor Castle? It's right there. Do you mean to tell me that if he shows up, they turn him away because his father didn't say he could be there? Who's at the Windsor Castle? Why would the Windsor Castle just sit empty because the Queen has died? Who's there? Just the people that work there? I don't understand why it would be empty. I always assumed that William wanted to be close to Windsor Castle so that eventually he could just move in. It'd be right there. I don't get what the point would be to leave it empty. And for that matter, if he chooses to go to Buckingham Palace, I'm sure they have accommodations there. Home for him is virtual. So, Royal Lodge, especially while his father is supposed to be, very ill, I don't see why he would want to get in there so desperately. I think the only reason they're talking about it is because of the election, and that's it. Just to seem like they're doing something. The only thing better than doing something is looking like you're doing something. And this gives Charles the opportunity to look like he's doing something. Oh, you know what? I don't know. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure they don't want anybody to ever talk about it. I'm sure they would rather people not talk about it. Let's see. I don't even know how to respond to that. Uh, uh, the Rangers are doing another. Well, oh, Sussex Team Warrior, you have a channel, right? Because if you do, you can. If you go to the what is it? The heck is that thing? I don't know what they call it. Um, I'd have to see it to know what it is. But you can block certain words. You can block certain words, and if it's in whatever they write, it will not come up in the comment section. It will not come up in the comment section. So, yeah, you can fix that easily. Like, let's say there's something that they try to use against Harry all the time. I won't say what. And they love to go in the comment section and talk about it, right? Not on Royal Sussex, they can't. I just love that. It just makes me feel so shady. Okay, so when you go to the community, right? Not that community, but you know what? The community in your settings, and then you go to community at the very bottom where it says um, blocked words. You can block all. Let me see. I probably got about 200 words blocked. And every time I see something in the comment that I don't like, I add that to the list. And voila, they cannot use it again. So just saying, just saying. That is like my favorite thing. Yeah, it makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel empowered. I got the power. Yeah. Getting kind of hectic. Getting kind of hectic. Oh man. Yeah, also you guys, if you try to share other channels in the comment section, it doesn't work on Royal Sussex. So if you try to share other channels, like if you got a link for another channel and you try to share it on Royal Sussex, that won't work either. Because I see that a lot of you all have tried to do that, but that doesn't work either. The only way that it will share is if I approve it, and usually I just to discourage people, I just get rid of those. So yeah, you could also block that because a lot of derangers, they like to share. Oh, here's a good something such and such and such, and it's a trick to get you to click on one of the hate channels. So those don't go through either. Oh, you purged your Instagram. Oh, okay. All right. Let's keep moving. Let's see. The king reportedly. So look at there. This is Vanity Fair. The King Charles reportedly began evicting Meghan and Harry the day after Spare was released. Oh, you know what? No, this is from 2023. So, Queens Are Made said, be flipping serious. Y'all are so loud to cheer on the cruelty of King Charles until it becomes inconvenient truths about who he really is, a vindictive, cowardly, immoral, racist, and untrustworthy father and grandfather who is the head of the Anglican Church. Come on. Come on. Meghan Markle and Prince Harry told to vacate their UK home, Frogmore, right? They were told to vacate the Frogmore, a gift, a gift. And then, if that wasn't bad enough, Harry eventually paid for the renovation. He paid for all of the extras that was done to the house. The renovation that was actually already scheduled because it is a grade two listed building. And so I'm really saying this for people who don't know, not for the rest of you. But before the Sussexes moved in, Frogmore, anytime you hear cottage, right? Cottage means it's for the servants. That's the servants' house. So Nottingham Cottage was not meant for a royal to live in. It was meant for the help. Um, the Adelaide Cottage, well, that was built for one of the extended family, but mostly it was used by the help. Same with Frogmore. Uh, that's for the help. Frogmore was 5 apartments. The house was divided into 5 apartments. It was scheduled for a renovation, and the sovereign grant was going to pay for that renovation. So they rushed the renovation so that it would be ready by the time Archie was born, right? So the Sussexes moved in, and then anything that they wanted that was not part of the renovation, they paid for themselves. So the sovereign grant paid what was scheduled for repair, and the Sussexes paid on top of that. And then they had to end up paying again once it was taken from them. And the reason why the Sussexes paid was because people made this. Well, it wasn't people. Should never confuse them with people. The Royal Rota made this big stink about the $3 million renovation and who's going to pay for it. And this was before they left, even though they spent millions of dollars for Will and Kate Anmer Hall after they paid millions of dollars for Will and Kate's apartment. What one was it? Apartment one at the Kensington Palace, the biggest apartment there. Even though they had spent all that money from the sovereign grant, not from the Queen, not from Charles, the sovereign grant under the Queen, the sovereign grant. They had spent all that money for Will and Kate. They spent, I forgot how many hundreds of thousands of pounds to put a new driveway at Anmer Hall. They even evicted the family at Anmer Hall to make way for Willie, right? They didn't want to move. But the tenants that were there were told they needed to vacate because the future king and his very boring wife wanted. So they had to leave. So you got millions of dollars for Kensington Palace, Will and Kate. You got millions of dollars for Anmer Hall for Will and Kate. And then they said, oh, we're moving to Adelaide Cottage. It's not the best place. There won't even be room for the servants. And if that's not enough, Um, it'll bring us closer to the schools for the kids, all that kind of stuff. In other words, a separation. Okay, a separation. Allegedly, if you're going to separate, okay, you put someone else in Adelaide Cottage, and you keep Admiral Hall and Kensington Palace, allegedly. So, if that is the case, and I don't know for sure that it is, whatever the case may be, they've made this big fuss about how Admiral Hall, Adelaide Cottage was only big enough for the family of five, even though there's another building of equal proportion right behind it. What do you suppose that building is for? Too big to be a garage. It's not the garage. It is where the servants live. And they made this big fuss about how they won't even have overnight servants. They're just across the courtyard. Duh. If you look at the map, it's right there. Anyway, enough about that. But they have gone through a lot of expense for Will and Kate. For two of the least working royals, two of the laziest individuals, they did not get value for money from those two. Okay? They have never provided value for money. There was never a time when the Queen and Philip wasn't working more than they were. I'm just saying. Okay, let me see. Prince Harry and his wife, the Duke was called for. Okay. Their British home away from home. The couple, global press secretary said, we can confirm the Duke and Duchess of Sussex have been requested to vacate their residence at Frogmore, Ashley Henson said in a statement Wednesday. So they kicked them out because of spare. Now, these two sorry souls, £320,000 fees owed after collapse of Carol Middleton's Party Pieces business written off. Insolvency group Interpath is understood to have written off more than £320,000 in fees it was owed from the administration of Party Pieces, the former business of the Princess of Wales, Prince of Wales in-laws. So I wonder if somebody just made a deal. Gosh, that sounds like somebody just made a deal. Doesn't it? That sounds like somebody was told to keep their mouth shut and we can make all of this go away. Hey, Raffaella Bertoni. It sounds like somebody was told to keep their mouth shut and we can fix this. Maybe? Not sure. I hope the distraction wasn't for this. I'm not sure what to make of it. Okay, so I made a video earlier. I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it or not. Is Kate Middleton seeking medical treatment in Houston? British royal officials say that's false. And it really started with a oh gosh, what is that website? You know, the one that Serena Williams' husband used to own. I think it started there. Oh, thank you, Adrian. So anyway, it's only 2 minutes long, so I'm going to go ahead and play that one. It's only 2 minutes, and then we'll talk on the other side. A rumor that Kate Middleton is being treated at the MD Anderson Cancer Center in Houston is false, according to a Kensington Palace representative. Speculation about the princess location has grown since she announced her cancer diagnosis in March. She began preventative chemotherapy in February, according to Kensington Palace, with no estimated date of when she might return to public duties. Middleton stepped away from public duties, and a palace insider told Us Weekly in June that she may never come back in the role that people saw her in before. Amanda Matta shared a video Monday morning on her royal family-focused TikTok account, Matta Fact, discussing a Reddit post that claims Middleton recently stayed at the St. Regis Houston. Was visiting friends at the St. Regis this weekend, and they had spoken of her being at the hotel. Has anyone else heard this? Assuming she would be here for treatment, hoping for the best outcome for the family, the post reads. Matta's TikTok had nearly 500,000 views and more than 1,000 comments by early afternoon Monday. I think this theory about Kate and her whereabouts makes a lot of sense when you stop to think about it, Matta said in the video, adding that she has heard similar stories that place Middleton in Houston. However, not everyone was convinced. She won't be in a hotel. She'll have her own house somewhere secluded, one commenter wrote. Some, on the other hand, believe the rumor might have some truth to it. It makes sense that she would seek the very best treatment, no matter where it is, a user wrote. MD Anderson Cancer Center representatives said the hospital is unable to comment on whether or not an individual is a patient due to patient privacy laws. The Cancer Center, known for its groundbreaking cancer treatment and research, has treated celebrities including Eddie Van Halen and Chris Evert. Okay, so, well, it is a bit far-fetched, and who's to say she wasn't there before? Let's see. Indeed, NDA for Kate, for Middleton's to. Oh, yeah, for that, right? Yeah. Well, we have not seen them. We have not seen them, and if there is some kind of plot that the Kensington Palace or the royal family has put together, if there's some kind of plot that requires them to stay silent, then it would just make sense that they would do some NDAs, and then their troubles, how does it go? Pack up all your cares and woes. Here I go singing low. Yes, all of your cares, just pack up all your cares and your blues, and they'll go away. They'll go away. So maybe that's what happened, maybe not. Kind of hard to say. And as for this thing, well, why wouldn't you go for the best treat? But there's plenty places in Europe or even in the UK where people with a good amount of money can get the best of care. You can fly in a team of people if you need to. You don't have to just, fly over to another country or something like that. But of course, they would have the element of surprise. I mean, who would expect to see her there, right? So there's always the element of surprise. But still, okay, they handled this whole thing with so much secrecy that even if we get something wrong, it certainly is not our fault. They have been very clumsy and very sloppy about this rollout. It's not our fault. I guess putting the Franken photo. Yeah, all of those the two photos and the two videos did not help their case. That was something that didn't have to happen, and it shouldn't have happened, but it did. And so it began sowing seeds of doubt for people. Raffaella Boterni, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. I want to be in America. I feel like I can breathe in America. But da, 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 da. uh, um. Well, would it be better if Beyonce was doing that Texas Hold'em? Well, y'all know they've been to Texas before because, after all, they went there. I guess it was Texas. They went there for the when for one of their when they did a tour of the U.S. Oh yes, that's why we're not hearing anything. Okay, all right. You're talking about the what do you call it? The that family. You guys, okay, I did say about an hour. I know we're going to be at least another half hour. I think so. Oh dear. The old nonsense about Sophie being relieved that she no longer has to curtsy to Megan is doing the rounds again. It's never been true. It's never been true. HRHs don't normally bow or curtsy to each other, but this tripe gets resurrected every few months because it garners clicks. If that ain't the pot calling the if that ain't the black calling the pot kettle, I don't know what is. If that ain't the black calling the pot kettle, I could not imagine what is. That's what Archie Bunker used to say. Uh, uh anyway, so let me let me just refresh your tea with Richard Palmer. So I'm not quite clear why there has been so much bile directed toward William and Kate online. It's almost as if it's coordinated by fans of the Sussexes or other cyber warrior groups. Richard Palmer, they went to a food bank with no food. Kate is dressed in stilettos to go and work at a food bank. They were there for 55 minutes. They brought 8 cameras with them. They parked about 100 feet away so that they could do the perp walk, or should I say the op walk, the opportunity for people to see them sashaying into the thing. And when the lady was trying to show Kate what to do, she said, "Well, actually, I'm just here to observe." So she wasn't there to work. This was an opportunity for them to, I guess, one up the Sussexes. I don't know. They came empty handed. They didn't really do anything. They just stacked a couple of things in the cart and listened to people talk about nothing. This is such a gratuitous use, a flagrant use of other people's time when they could actually be doing something themselves. And people called them out for it. They called it something tourism, like it was some kind of like safari for poverty tourism. I think that's the word that they use, poverty tourism. And that's exactly what it was. And see, Richard Palmer, he was one of the people that was more critical in the past. Now that they have had the Sussexes to go after, he's singing from another hymn book. Like this one right here. Not at all. There are 13, I think, newspapers and agency royal correspondents on the Rota, in addition to a similar number of television and radio reporters and producers. I don't believe any of them ever made a story about royal protocol breaches. Oh, really? Oh, really? Well, Alexis says Richard Palmer trying to rewrite, rewrite history while forgetting the internet lives forever. They created royal protocols specifically to other Meghan Markle. One of these is not like the other. Remember that song from Sesame Street? One of these things are quite like the other. Well, here's an example. Kate Middleton dazzles on BAFTA red carpet in an elegant white gown with Prince William. Royal shock. Meghan Markle breaks royal protocol again with vulgar fashion move. It's vulgar on the black woman. And guess which paper he used to write for? The Express. Now, I don't know that he wrote these articles, but I know he wrote for the Express, right? Receipt, receipt. Or how about this? Prince William and Kate hire Spanish nanny with 20 years experience for Prince George. Meghan Markle baby, how Meghan's American nanny could break royal tradition. He did write the one over there on the left. I'm not sure about the one on the right. This is a Daily Mail. Hands in pocket is a step too far. Etiquette, that is, expert critiques Meghan's casual pose on Wellington outing, but assures it can be easily corrected for future engagements. What is the Queen doing? What's the Queen doing? Looking for her car keys? Huh? Looking for her pipe? Trying to find a butterscotch? What is she doing? Look like she's doing the same thing. This is why they can't stand the Sussex squad. This is why they can't stand it. Look at the bottom right. 72 times Meghan Markle has broken royal protocol. This is something that they used as a weapon against Meghan, as a toxin, as a poison, day after day after day after day. They did that. And so when they say, oh, she was welcome, everybody made her feel welcome. Thank you, Adrian. I didn't think about that one, but you're probably right. I see a royal expert as having amnesia, affirming the Rhoda never wrote about breaking royal rules or protocol, particularly Meghan. Here's a simple search, not even counting the sheer amount of pieces by other reporting the same BS and quoting said Rhoda. So this is a simple search of Meghan breaking protocol, and they managed to come up with what? 12 of them. 12 of them without even digging too deep. There's 12. Here's another Richard Palmer. I'm all for public media scrutiny of the royal family, but the debate on all sides has become so toxic now, it's a disgrace. The reaction from some on the Twitter to Queen Camilla going down with COVID should give many people, including her stepson, Prince Harry, food for thought. One more time. He does know that the internet is forever. Once you put it out there in cyberspace, it's out there. The Express, that's the paper he writes for, or used to before he got fired or he left. Depends on who you're talking to. Harry, do you really hate your family so much? Now, I believe that is his article. You can see it down there in that little square. He wrote that one. And then look at on the right side. That's also his article. William, I'll fight back. So if the family is in turmoil, right? If the Windsor family is in crisis, does it really help for Richard Palmer to ask Harry, do you really hate your family so much? Does he realize that that may conjure up um, hostility from some crazed lunatic? And that that could be, I don't know, possibly dangerous? And on the same note, he's stoking up William by saying, I'll fight back. Prince's warning shot to Harry and Meghan on the eve of Netflix show. This is Richard Palmer, the same person who just said that the vitriol, where is it at right there? Where is that? The reaction from some on Twitter to Queen Camilla going, including, where is it at? Oh, was it before this one? Oh, it has become so toxic. Now it's a disgrace. It's toxic. And of course, the vitriol. Really, Richard Palmer? What about this one? Oh, look who wrote that. Now, this is before Meghan. This is before Meghan. Exclusive. Prince William blasted for laziness for working just 47 days in a year. 365 days, and William has worked just 47 days. Nannies, drivers, helicopter pilot, all of the bells and whistles, and William worked a whopping 47 days. William was accused of laziness today in a report that found he worked the equivalent of 47 days on official royal duty in the year after he quit the Royal Air Force. In other words, after he quit doing air rescues, after he quit the air rescue, when he had all that extra time, right? William, who misplaced his firearm and got a reprimand, William, who allegedly stole a helicopter to go joyriding, that William only worked 47 days after he left. Now, this is what Richard Palmer used to write. That's the same William. Nothing has changed about William. He's still lazy, ignorant, thoughtless. Wait, there's more. I got more. Royal biographer Penny Jr. believes it's a mistake, especially after Harry and Meghan spent $2.4 million of taxpayers' money on renovating Frogmore Cottage. She also believes it's a further sign that Archie will never be given royal title, even when Charles is king. He was one of the main people stoking the flames of stripping the Sussexes of their titles, not to mention blocking the children from their titles. After all we just talked about, he was one of the main perpetrators. Richard Palmer, the one who says it's getting too toxic. It's too toxic. So much bile and vitriol. Listen to him here. July the 1st, 2019. So not only had he signed on to all of the, the chatter that caused Harry to have to pay back money that he shouldn't have paid back, but he also had the children in his sights, trying to strip their titles from them before they even get them. Legs says, of course, they were complaining about the Sussex's $2 million renovation when Wank were getting a $4 million driveway installed. He's one of the main perpetrators. In spite of everything that he has been saying lately, about how toxic things are, he was one of the main people writing for the Daily Express. But wait, there's more. Huh. Interesting read. But from what I can see, the British press screwed themselves. They bashed, nitpicked, second guessed, sneered, and straight up lied. And now they're reaping the seeds that were sown. How many? This was because of a Beast article. How many? Wait a minute. How Harry and Meghan royally screwed over the British press. Okay, so Richard Palmer says, "What is that, Karen? I'm shocked by your comments. They make me doubt your credibility. Perhaps you think the U.S. media has similarly screwed itself in its dealings with the White House." I have no idea what that's supposed to mean. But whatever it is, that was lame. That was absolutely lame. So, Richard Palmer, uh, oh, this is a doozy, you guys. If you all are new to the Sussex Squad, the moment a 16-year-old boy kissed Meghan, professional TV footage. The moment a 16-year-old boy kissed Meghan, all of them, including Hoghead Pierce Morgan, they could not stop. They were, and eventually they were going to try to make it seem like Meghan had done something wrong. Only for a video that I believe came from Harry and Meghan. I believe it was Harry and Meghan's video. A new piece of video footage taken from a different angle appears to show there was no cheeky kiss from the head boy, a lovely young man, when Meghan went to a school in whatever that Didringham. Um, Mistakes do happen, and this appears to be one by the journalist there on behalf of the UK media. But wait, there's more. Just wait, you all. There's more. But this just goes to show they are so anxious. They are so anxious to try to get it out there that Harry and Meghan, particularly Meghan, though we know particularly Meghan, that Meghan has done a oopsie yet again. Meghan has made a mistake again. Meghan shows that she just doesn't understand us. She just doesn't get it again. When the truth is, there was no kiss. Okay. Let me do this one first. Let me do this first, and then I'll get to that. Because we almost forget that this was the occasion when that happened. But okay, here we go.
I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes it's lots more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So I'm sorry we can only come and give words and comfort, but we are thinking about you the whole time, and we really care about what's going on. So
sometimes it's lots more than financial.
Well, if we can give you the odd smile here and there, that's important. So
On that occasion, and listen, it is almost impossible to find the video. And even if you could, the words are very hard to understand, which is why it's a good thing that there was an experienced royal reporter, a royal correspondent who was there, a pool reporter, meaning that Richard Palmer was there representing everybody. They wanted to send someone with experience to go on this sleeper of an outing with Will and Kate. So Omid Scobie, this is why they don't like Omid Scobie. Below is an extract from Royal Reporter pool copy filed to UK papers and PA after a covered yesterday royal visit, being the only journalists there. Palmer's sole job was to share reporting to the outlets, not present. There would be no royal beat without the pool system, right? So Omid is kind of rubbing it in his face. So William told volunteers that Britain and the rest of Europe were united behind them and spoke of the shock and what is that? At something war. Oh, I'm sorry, the shock at seeing war on European soil. He said Britons were more used to seeing conflicts in Africa and Asia. It's very alien to see this in Europe. We are all behind you, he said. But he added that he, like many, wanted to do more to help. We feel so useless, he said. This is Richard Palmer. This is Richard Palmer, an experienced correspondent. So he quoted William. There's also a video, which is impossible to find. And William, who is going to be the next king, William, who studied geography at university, was too dumb to recall. And wasn't it just D-Day? And D-Day was to acknowledge the sacrifice of all of those young men that charged the beaches. A lot of them lost their lives 80 years ago. And let me see, where did that happen? Timbuktu, Antarctica, Australia, Hong Kong, New Guinea, Papua New Guinea. Gee, where did that conflict take place? Just 80 years ago. The war to end all wars. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That was World War I. But where did that take place? I would say about 20 miles from the coast of Dover. Right? And Williams said, we're more used to seeing conflicts in Africa and Asia. And of course, the palace was just shocked and outraged that this was being reported. And so they had Richard Palmer reimagine what he heard. And he, of course, claimed that that wasn't exactly what Williams said, but it was exactly what he said. Because William is not so bright. Okay? He's not that bright. This is the man that was laughing and coughing when the pandemic started. Right? That William. So the UK has the second lowest level of trust in press in survey of 24 countries. I believe this was from 2022. If you look all the way down there at the bottom, listen, look way down there. Okay, you got to lean forward. Now look, squint your eyes, look all the way down there at the bottom, south of Greece and north of Egypt. And what does it say? 13%. The UK has one of the lowest trust levels in press among surveyed countries. And these are the percentage. 13% of people trust the media. 13% who say they have a great deal or quite a lot of confidence in the press. So 13% of the people in the United Kingdom believe in the press. 13%. The Philippines, they're at what, 71%? Japan 70%, China 68%. They better. Iran, Nigeria, Indonesia, South Korea. Let me see. The U.S. We're 30%. Not surprising. We have been murdocked. And right here, trust in the written press. The written press. Well, this is for the EU. I believe this is all for the EU or for Europe. Let me see. Way down there at the bottom, south of Turkey and north of Bulgaria, it says United Kingdom. So even if you just look at Europe, the United Kingdom, they only people trust the written press there. A whopping, let me see. God, that's kind of hard to see, but it looks like 35% trust the written word, 16%. Oh, actually, there's no middle ground. It's either 35 or 65. There's no gray area. Wow. There's no gray area. It's 35 and 65. 65% of the people, of course, don't trust it. Isn't that something? Isn't it bliss? Are we a pair? But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Well, maybe they're here. So, yes, send in the clowns. Let me see. I recognize all of them actually. I see Pierce Morgan, Camilla Tominey, Dickie Arbiter. You can see that crazy necktie. And there's Chris Ship with a P, not a T. Also, that is Mrs. Magoo, that troll Angela Levin. And is that Roy Anika? Emily Andrews, Richard Palmer. Yeah, Richard Palmer. Yeah, so if you go clockwise, there you go. Clowns. Print circulation for January has a treat. The fail is under 800,000 K for the first time in more than 100 years, down from 812K to 797K. The year on year is down 12%, which is an increase from the 5 to 8% we have had since 2018. Daily Mail, what is that? Whatever, owned by Metro, is struggling too. What is DMGT? Anyway, they're struggling too. Oh, you're gonna love this. Okay, so Edwin Hayward. If you haven't seen this before, be prepared to be shocked. You know how bullies often get away with it until people compare notes and look really close at the situation. Here's a look at 24 hours of attacks on Meghan Markle by UK's main right-wing newspaper website, time period the 4th of March 2021. So on the 4th of March, they surveyed all of the articles about Meghan in a 24-hour period. Institutionalized racism and then some. Take a look. So for the Express, which is the worst offender, which is where Richard Palmer works, 50 articles about Meghan Markle, the Duchess of Sussex, Princess Meghan, 50 articles. So every 30 minutes, right? That's every 30 minutes for in a 24-hour cycle, there was another article, mostly negative, about Meghan. The Daily Mail, 31 articles in a 24-hour period. 31 articles. You can see the titles right there. 31 articles. And this was one day. One day. The Telegraph, 19 articles. Ongoing saga. What's next for Harry and Meghan after the Oprah? Buckingham Palace to investigate Duchess of Sussex bullying claims. Could there be a hidden olive branch in Meghan's Oprah interview? Duchess of Sussex hit back at smear campaign after being blah, blah, blah. 19 articles. And The Sun, 28 articles. Suanna Reid defends Piers Morgan over his Meghan comments as Good Morning Britain panel attacks him. Oh, look at there. At least 10 ex-aides are queuing to help Palace probe into Meghan's bullying. Now, we all know that's not true because the people at the palace that they were trying to co-sign said, please remove my name from the list. None of them came forward. And we know this because Meghan's lawyers wanted to talk to them. And nobody was ever presented to present their case or tell their stories because there was no story to tell. All of that was in response. Actually, they preempted the Oprah interview. Remember, the bullying claims came out, a day or two before Oprah because they just weren't sure what the Sussexes were going to talk about. So, looking at this, it's no surprise that the couple chose to escape this bigoted, blighted country to raise their children. If they could, they'd probably be on the phone to Elon Musk to get a place on the first trip to Mars. Has anyone ever been more systematically vilified? There you go. I told you there was more. Didn't I tell you there was more? Now, I'm almost done, you guys. Musical chairs. There's a folk chair, rock chair, classic rock chair. Classic rock, get it? There's a pop chair, jazz chair. Okay, the jazz chair, I'm not sure I get that one. A classical chair, a punk chair. They smashed that one, huh? Blues, metal, gospel. Okay, there's got to be a heavy metal. Soundtrack, opera, new age. Okay, I get the new age. Calypso, like a beach chair or whatever. Let me see. Easy listening, an easy chair for easy listening. An indie chair. Rap chair, obviously. Industrial chair. A country chair, a bale of hay, I suppose. And reggae, a beanbag with the Rastafarian colors. A swing music chair, an alternative chair. Okay, so the bar stool, I mean, I know it's a bar stool, but okay, I know that jazz and Art Deco kind of goes together, right? So is it because it's an Art Deco style stool or something? I don't know. It's cool. That's just something random I found. And of course, there's the heir chair, the heir to the throne chair, which peculiarly enough looks a lot like an eggplant. What does he call it? An aubergine? Aubergine or whatever? Yeah. There's an air chair. And trust me, the air knows just where to stick it. Yes, the air chair. Get yours today. Be careful where you place that chair. I don't suppose anybody is going to have to encourage him to sit on it, are they? I don't suppose they will. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be much of a challenge to get him to sit on it. Just try to stop him, okay? Just try to stop him. Oh, one pig. Uh, ah. Oh, Jazz Lounge Club. Okay, thank you, Creative Life. You are creative. You are creative. Okay. I figured with all that other stuff, we needed to have something to come down from all of that other stuff. So I thought this would be good for us. Okay. Let me see. Prince William enters his statesman era rather. So you guys don't forget, as Zandy says, another cringe and desperate article. The problem for Willie is no matter how hard they try to prop him up, everyone sees him for the angry, immature toddler that he is. His toxic behavior speaks louder than his words. Poor bully Willie. Rebecca English, standing with 7 presidents, 3 kings, and too many prime ministers to count, Prince William steps up his most high profile role in the on the international stage yet. Um, I don't know what he gives them in exchange for all of this BS, all of this brown nosing, bootlicking, but it must be worth it. It must be worth it. Um, we all know that William is triggered by anything that happens for Harry. Anything that's good for Harry is triggering to him. And I can't help but think that Kitty is in the situation she's in because they were trying to use her as a weapon against the Sussexes. But while doing so, it overwhelmed and created a lack of interest in William. So, yet again, another Princess of Wales seems to have outshined the heir to the throne. And there may have been a price to be paid, allegedly, possibly. Emily Prescott, Princess Kate rewards Girl Friday Natasha Archer for her loyalty with new top job as senior private executive at the palace. Well, I was wondering where she got the idea to wear that dress, that bride's, what is it, vampire's bride dress? I think I figured it out. I think that was Natasha's idea. Now, Natasha is the one who supposedly drove her home from the hospital. Natasha is the one that's married to or dating Chris, whatever his name is, the photographer. That's his girlfriend or wife, one or the other. I don't remember which one. Um, what is his name? Chris something. But yeah, I guess that was her idea to wear that dress. A 10-watt bulb. uh, oh, so you mean it was like the UN all over again, where he got no special treatment? Oh, you all, I didn't see it, but you're going to make me go and find it. Blackbirder, Christian Cooper overcame Central Park Karen and is now a TV star. If you all remember that Karen that was in the park, the one that said that she was being attacked by the black man who was bird watching, all he said was to please do what the law mandates and put your dog on a leash, right? Because the dogs running free actually scares the migratory birds. They disrupt the migratory birds. The birds use those green spaces to rest and feed. And for some of them, those habitats, those urban habitats, are their homes. And all of that is disrupted when you got dogs running around. So he told her politely, please put that animal on a leash, on a lead. And she became outraged and she said,
Police! 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 Help! Police! Help! Police! Help! Help! Police! Help!
and of course, the police came and let me see.
Sit down.
Yeah, the police came and they retorted by saying,
Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. I know you are jolted.
yes, that was their retort. They told her to sit down. And so she ended up getting in trouble and he ended up getting a television career. So and it became a happy ending. That's what happened. So let me see. Why do I always open up the wrong
Hey girl,
one?
sit down. Sit down.
Okay, that's the wrong one. I need to figure this out. Why does that keep happening? Is it this one?
Hey girl, sit down. Sit down. Sit down.
I love her. But yeah, so that's what happened. He has a television career thanks to the Central Park Karen. All right. Yeah, part of the is because of the helm of the Nat Geo Extraordinary Birder with Christian Cooper streaming on Disney. This series garnered Cooper and he won garnered Cooper 2 Daytime Emmy Award nominations. The award show airs Saturday, June the 8th on CBS, and I think he won one, right? And streams on Paramount. One of the non-patrol. Okay, I think he did win, right? Anyway, that's what happened. And she, I think, lost her job. And we'll close with this. These are cartoons depicting Rishi Sunak trying as hard as he can to get away from the D-Day ceremony. Rishi Sunak wanted to get out of there so bad that his helicopter overturned gravestones, folding chairs, flags, veterans, poppies. Oh my God. Remember an interview. They want people to remember this for the elections. Remember the interview. He had to hurry up and get back for that interview. And then, of course, they did a reenactment of the D-Day landing, and that was interrupted by Rishi Sunak because I guess he took the helicopter to get to the speedboat or the speedboat to get to the helicopter. But anyway, Rishi Sunak had to get the hell out of there, okay? And then, of course, when those vintage fighter planes were doing the flyover, once again, there's Rishi Sunak in his jet helicopter racing to get back over to the UK so he could do that in. Oh my God, that is too funny. Poor Rishi Sunak. What an embarrassment. I mean, blocking the landing craft, overturning veterans and poppies, and then of course flying the opposite direction from the. That's just terrible. Oh my God. Do you guys see what's on the side of the planes? Do you all see what they wrote on the side of the planes? Please take a look at that. I did not notice that until just now. Do you guys see it? You got to read it top to bottom. Hi, Minxie Martin. You got to read it from top to bottom. I almost missed that. I almost missed that. That is too funny. Whoever made this cartoon, that is too funny. Yes. Yes. Sod off Tory boy. Oh, by the way, that is Ashley Henson and the new Charlie, what's his name? Gibson. Yeah, Sussex comms team, Ashley Henson, who is doing an amazing job, and new addition Charlie Gibson, um, with a Nigerian press team in Lagos. So if you want to see who was behind the scenes, um, that of course is Ashley. Also, there's our Harry handling his business. You better handle your business, Harry. Handle your business, bruh. Love that. And lastly, I think this is last, an afternoon well spent at basketball clinic hosted by Giants of Africa with the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Great work. Now, I didn't want to add the name of her social media account because I didn't want the derangers going into her account. But even as late as this, almost a month later, and we're still finding new photos that we've never seen before. How about that? How about that? And with that, you guys, I'm going to bid you all good night. No long goodbye. I didn't mean to stay on this late. Also, I got to call my auntie back. So, love you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And
Sit down.
sit down. That is our last word of the day. And of course, whenever you see our queens, it's time to go. And you know what I mean. So that's queen number 1, 2, 3. Is there any more queens up here? Let me see if I can find at least one more queen. 4. Okay, 4 queens. Okay, love you guys. See you next time. 4 queens. Oh man. Look at there. There's Charles singing the blues because he wants to see Lily and Archie. One. I want to see my grandson. One. My granddaughter too. One. I know I complain too much. One. I threw him out of Frogmore too. Wah, 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 wah. Old Charles singing the blues because he wants to see his grandchildren. Well, you can forget about it, Chuck. Anyway, that's it. I'm not even going to play Ginger Avenger. Good night.